Israel has long been accusing the United Nations of anti-Israel bias, but it's not often that such bias can be factually proven. Now, a new report claims that the UN is responsible for coordinating and funding a network of anti-Israel organizations. Rachel Hirshfeld is here with us from the organization NGO Monitor, and she has a scoop. Thanks for coming in.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So, NGO Monitor is responsible for this report. Can you tell us about what your organization does?
Sure, absolutely. NGO Monitor is an independent, nonpartisan research organization that tracks the funding and political advocacy of non-governmental organizations that exploit that exploit their mandate of human rights in order to demonize Israel in the international arena.
Okay, so that's a complicated
yeah.
Goal that you guys have here. So what in this report have you authored tells us about this issue?
Okay, so the report focuses on the UN's Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs in what it refers to as the occupied Palestinian territories. Now, this body coordinates international government funding to some of the most highly biased and politicized NGOs active in the Arab-Israeli conflict, including those that promote boycotts, divestments, and sanctions, as well as political warfare campaigns against Israel in the international arena. In 2016 alone, OCHA requested $571 million from international government donors to provide to NGOs that are highly active in these campaigns. $571 million. That is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Yeah. The NGOs include, some of the appealing NGOs include the Norwegian Refugee Council, Islamic Relief Worldwide, Palestinian Center for Human Rights, as well as a number of others. Islamic Relief Worldwide was banned from operating in the West Bank due to its alleged role in funneling funds to Hamas, while the Norwegian Refugee Council has funded hundreds of lawsuits in Israeli courts in an effort to disrupt the Israeli judicial system.
So what prompted you to investigate OCHA?
We've always known that they've been active in this area, but I think that there was a lack of real research regarding, their role and how exactly they fit into the larger picture. And what we found is, in addition to coordinating the international government support, they also published numerous reports, fact sheets, and informational databases repeating, parroting false and unverifiable NGO claims, which is highly problematic because as a UN body, they're given credibility, and essentially they're seeking to give credence and credibility to highly misleading claims.
So who's behind this? Where are they getting the funds to coordinate towards all these anti-Israel organizations?
Right, so the funding is coming mostly from European governments. The EU, Sweden, Switzerland, Norway are some of the main ones. And they provide a lot of money.
Right, you said a lot of this funding is actually coming from governments
Exactly.
themselves.
So OCHA acts as the coordinator. It just kind of like makes the process smoother and, kind of like facilitates this government support to these NGOs and then repeats their claims.
So this might seem like a stupid question to ask, but what do you think the goal behind these actions are?
I think that there is a clear campaign being waged in the international arena to demonize, delegitimize, and isolate Israel. And this report is, I think, very significant. It is only the tip of the iceberg, but it shows where the money is coming from, who is coordinating the funding, where the funding is going, these NGOs who are implementing the funding and, using it to accuse Israel of war crimes, violations of international law, and many others in the international.
What is this rooted in, though? Why is this happening? Where does it come from?
I think it's just part of the broader campaign to falsify history, in essence, to promote an agenda based solely on the Palestinian narrative of victimization and sole Israeli aggression. Another thing that OCHA does actually is it organizes thematic clusters, which bring together NGOs, UN representatives, and government donors in given in specific fields of, like in armed conflict, shelter, water, in
Right.
various, during the 2014 war, the protection cluster, which is one of the most problematic clusters, 3 NGOs were tasked with providing the protection cluster with information regarding Palestinian casualty claims. These NGOs included B'Tselem, Palestinian Center for Human Rights, and Al-Mazan. As we've documented in many reports, these NGOs all lack the necessary military and legal expertise, as well as research methodology to draw any meaningful conclusions. In fact, during the war, B'Tselem posted a note on its website saying that its data might not be accurate, but that it's going to publish this information anyway. Then OCHA goes and repeats this information, which is then given the UN stamp of approval.
Right. So,
and it's repeated in an effort
reality.
it's repeated in an effort to demonize Israel in the international arena.
So, here's our final question. What actions, need to be taken to combat this issue?
I think that the public needs to be aware of, the next time they hear a figure or number on the news or they hear a claim, to ask themselves where this information is coming from and if there's a specific agenda behind the information that they're being provided.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. It's extremely interesting to hear about this.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll have you back again soon.
Thank you very much.